Hello and welcome, my name is Ahura and we are gonna play a new game together. This game is called Expeditions Conquistador and I've never tried it before. I've looked at a single YouTube video just to kind of get a feel for it while I was downloading it. But I haven't played it myself, so we're gonna try this and learn this together and hopefully it'll be fun. There's only one campaign at the start, the Hispaniola campaign, and I'm just gonna play it on normal difficulty because, well, I've never tried it before. The game is sort of like Heroes of Might and Magic in the way it plays, except that it's more of an RPG game. You have a party that you will explore the Hispaniola part of South America with, and well, let's get into it and we'll kind of find out together. First of all, we'll have to create a character. Of course, we'll be Ahura. And what do we want as a last name? Ahura Menendez. That sounds fine. So let's read this. Welcome to the character creation. This is where you choose what kind of conquistador you wish to be. Your choices in this menu and the following will influence your opportunities and challenges throughout the game. But don't be alarmed. The decisions you make here may make the game harder, but they cannot make it impossible. The current screen lets you set up your own character, gender, name and skills. Your skills will influence your access to and consumptions of resources such as medicine, rations and skills will also open up new options during event and conversation. You can always move your cursor over icons to see what they mean. It is recommended that you choose 2 or 3 skills to specialize in without lowering any of your skills completely. But feel free to follow your instincts if they tell you otherwise. On the next screen you'll have to select the people you are bringing to your expedition to the new world. The different characters types provide substantial bonuses to your skills, and different characters have different strengths, weaknesses and abilities in battle. Each character also has 3 personality traits, which determine what will cause them to lose or gain morale throughout your travels. So, okay, let's look at the different skills we can have. We can have tactics. Tactics is used to change the starting situation in battle to your advantage. It determines the amount of items you can bring into combat and how far from your troops you can place them. Okay. Diplomacy affects the chances of success in negotiation and cultural exchanges. Healing reduces the medicine cost of treating injured expedition members. Survival improves the result of hunting, reduces daily use of rations. Scouting increases your daily movement and occasionally grants you better information about battles. And leadership bolsters the starting morale of your people and raises their maximum morale, reducing the risk of mutiny. So I think that scouting will be pretty important, just because extra move usually gives huge success. Then I think I'm gonna go for some diplomacy, just because I don't want to be a total dick and just kill all the ancient natives. And maybe we should go for survival just to keep down the cost of. So let's, if we go 2 points in each of those, and then either, I'm not sure about either leadership or tactics. I think I'm gonna go with leadership just because morale is important. Maybe I should just go 1 point each. Yeah. That sounds about right. Well, we'll try that anyway. And now we need to select our party. So let's look at the classes. There are doctors. Doctors, they have +2 to healing. They are poor fighters but useful support units that can restore endurance and revive incapacitated troops. So I guess endurance is like HP. And so we probably need one of these. At least. Let's check out the other classes first. And there's hunters. They have +2 to survival, so they are good at gathering resources. They are accurate and lethal shielders, but vulnerable and weak in melee. So they are like my ranged troops. Then there are scholars. Scholars have +2 to diplomacy, useful support units that can add a lot of flexibility to your force. And from what I read on the site, they were also good at tinkering, so they they can probably actually make stuff. So I want at least one of those. But they look like they're a typical buff bot. Then we have scouts. Scouts have +2 to scouting, so they can kind of look ahead in the combat. I think that was what it was. They are fast and lethal melee fighters, but cannot use ranged weapons. So they're probably like specialized rogues or something like that. If you're used to playing D&D, I think they are probably a bit like rogues. And then finally we have soldiers. They have +2 to tactics, slow but tough melee fighters, poor aim in ranged combat. So they will probably be the tanks in the party. They will be in front and trying to take all the damage. All of them have different abilities, but I can't remember them all. I read about it, but we'll just have to score through the game. But let's get a doctor first. The first guy here is Pedro Alvarado. He's aggressive, proud, and adventurous. Aggressive means that he gains morale when you engage an enemy in combat, but he can lose it if we pass up the opportunity to fight. So if we are diplomatic, trying to be diplomatic, probably he won't be too happy about it. He's also proud, so he gains morale if we win a battle, but lose if we fail. And he's adventurous, so he'll gain morale every time we make a significant discovery. So this guy would be really good if we're going into a lot of combat, because he both gets morale for going into and winning battles. So then there's Marisol Conquistador. She is racist. She may lose morale if we recruit followers from another ethnicity, and gain morale if we display racism. That doesn't sound good. She's also cautious, so she gains morale if we avoid dangerous situations. I don't think racist and cautious goes good together. She don't like the natives, but she would also not like if we attack the natives. Let's check out Teresa Sanchez. She is open-minded, so she's actually happy about having followers from other ethnicities. She's altruistic, so she will be happy if we give away resources for good causes. So if we kind of help out the natives, she'll probably be happy. And then she's called here, so she don't want to go into a lot of combat. And finally there's Antonio Velasquez. He is peaceful, which means that he doesn't like combat. Altruistic, so again he wants to give away money. And narcissistic. That seems to be kind of opposite traits, I would think. I think either Pedro Alvarado or Teresa Sanchez. They have the same... I think I'm gonna go with Teresa Sanchez. Let's read her bio. Teresa's mother died when she was giving birth, launching her father into a deep depression from which he never recovered. Seeing suffering all around her as a child, she grew determined to help people get well. Before joining your expedition, she was the local doctor in your area, where she excelled particularly in stitching wounds. Let's hire her. Then let's look at some hunters. There's Benita Blanco, peaceful, racist and narcissistic. There's Paul Carrillo, racist, narcissistic and adventurous. Adriana Severa, peaceful, altruistic and proud. Rafael Lopez, courageous, proud and pious. So pious gains morale if we act according with the faith, and lose if we transgress against their religious creed. Then there is Alejandro Pintado. He's cautious, proud and pious. And Gabriela Ibarro, who is aggressive, open-minded and greedy. So greedy gains morale if you gain new resources. I like her. As I said, I want to be kind of open-minded with the natives. And even she will have a kind of be happy whatever we do. If we are aggressive, she'll gain morale. If we work together with the natives, she'll gain morale, and she'll gain morale whenever we gain some money. And I bet we're probably gonna get some money. So let's hire her. And I think I want one more hunter since they are ranged. So who should we choose? I don't want any racist. Maybe this guy, Rafael Lopez. Let's read his bio and then go to her bio. Rafael had a good life as a hunter in Spain until he messed it all up. Blind with baseless jealousy and drunk out of his mind, he murders his loving wife one night on suspicion of adultery. He was caught and tried for murder, found guilty and sentenced to death. At the last possible moment, Rafael was offered a chance of a pardon if he agreed to be sent to the New World and serve the Spanish crown on expeditions to the mainland. So I guess this Pios bit is kind of new for him. And then we have Gabriela Ibarra. Life was not good to Gabriela in the early years of her life. Thrown out of her family's house to fend for herself at the age of 12, he resorted to prostitution and begging to feed herself. After she nearly died following a desperate makeshift abortion, her luck finally changed when she was taken in by a lonely old woodsman who taught her hunting and tanning. Her sense of self-worth finally restored after several years of maintaining a respectable living, she joined the crew of a ship to Hispaniola, where you met her as a hunter in the forest north of Santo Domingo. So she sounds. It seems like it's kind of a theme that all of these characters have had a hard life home, which also makes sense since they are kind of traveling into a new life. But we also need a scholar. I think we'll only take one of these guys. So we have Blanca Alegria, who's racist, altruistic, and pious. Daniel Reyes, who is peaceful, courageous, and adventurous. Julio Barreto, who is open-minded, greedy, and proud. Valiente, who is peaceful, open-minded, and pious. And Carla Zaraga, who is aggressive, greedy, and cautious. I like Barreto, open-minded, greedy, and pious, so it's nice to me. Julio's father was killed defending his birthing mother. His parents had been traveling to your town when they were attacked by bandits. His mother escaped wounded and breaking water. She collapsed and died close to the city gates, but luckily a young couple rescued Julio from the dying mother's womb and raised the child as their own. Because his adopted father was the keeper of your father's library, Julio grew up surrounded by books and pamphlets alike. It was natural for him to turn to sciences in that environment. It's something stirred in him, driving him to seek adventure. So let's hire that dude, and we need some scouts. I think I'm gonna use 2 scouts. Peaceful, cautious, and adventurous. Peaceful, altruistic, and courageous. Aggressive, open-minded, and pious. Or open-minded, cautious, and narcissistic. Aggressive, racist, and courageous. Aggressive, greedy, and adventurous. I think we are going to go for this. Oh, I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna go for Montego Aragones. I don't know how to pronounce this. I never learned Spanish, so I don't know. I speak German. That's German and English, and of course Danish, but you will probably not understand any of that. Ever since he was a child, Montego always had a strong sense of the civic duty and powerful desire to find adventure and be a hero, but he was never very good at combat or very fond of killing people. When he joined your Hermandad, he took up the study of maps and orientating and quickly became the best scout in your brotherhood. As long as Montego is with you, you know that you will never be lost. Well, that sounds nice. Let's get that guy. And I think we will also hire Ana Vidal. She's aggressive, greedy, and adventurous. Fierce and independent, Ana picked up the nickname Pantera among the troops early in the expedition. When on duty, she is remarkable for her ability to move unnoticed through any terrain, like a shadow that leaves no mark upon its surroundings. Yeah, it kind of sounds like a mix of a rogue and a ranger, something like that. Needless to say, this makes her an excellent scout. Off duty, she is remarkable for having several lovers and not even attempting to conceal her conduct. Naturally, this gives rise to all sorts of gossiping, jealousy, and contempt among the troops, but Nietzsche herself seemed perfectly disinterested in all of this. I think that could, depending on, I don't know how much interaction there are between the characters, but this could give some friction with some of the pious people. But let's hire. I think we'll need 3 soldiers just to serve as the tanks of the group. Open-minded, greedy, and cautious. Aggressive, racist, and proud. Aggressive, courageous, and pious. Peaceful, courageous, narcissistic. I don't like these narcissistic types. They get mad if they aren't promoted. Ortega, aggressive, altruistic, and courageous. Peaceful, altruistic, proud. Rhesus, greedy, peaceful, greedy, pious. She sounded nice. Open-minded, greedy, and cautious. Born in servitude to your family, Sierra started her training as a squire. She developed a taste for combat very quickly, and her skill became apparent to you. At your suggestion, she joined your Hermandad as a full-time soldier, and has been training there for the past several years before you went on your expedition. Let's hire her. And let's hire Rita Martinez. We have a lot of women in our crew. I wonder if that is historically accurate, but let's not dwell on that. Born as a street urchin to unknown parents, she spent her childhood stealing to survive. On a particularly sunny day, she ran into your father, who took pity on the small child. Her fearlessness and tenacious will to live made her a prime candidate for your army, in which she has now spent the last 7 years waiting for a chance to repay her debt to your father through service. So she sounds quite loyal. We don't want aggressive, altruistic, and courageous. That sounds nice. Not much is known of Juan Ortega. Despite his ruthlessness on the field of battle, he is a polite and soft-spoken character most of the time, but he keeps to himself and doesn't speak of his past. It has been established that he has served as a mercenary for a few years before traveling to Hispaniola, where he joined your expedition, but nobody knows where he is from or why he chose to come to the New World. With every passing evening, the rumors concerning Maestro Ortega grow even more impressive. Sounds nice. And I think I'm gonna go for another doctor, just because we didn't take that much healing ourselves. So let's go with Pedro Alvarado. Born in 1469, he had a relatively normal childhood, growing up in a small farm town. He met the love of his life, whom he married at a young age. He was apprenticing as an alchemist when his wife fell ill from typhus and died a short while later. The loss sent him into a deep depression, and he buried himself in his work and the field of disease treatment. He never fully recovered from his broken heart, and partly the reason he joined your expedition was to get over the grief. A somber and quiet man, but no one knows better the field of disease and infection than he. So let's get him too. And all that talking, I need some coffee. So let's go on. Some background. The year is 1580, a year before Hernan Cortés would be elected captain of the third expedition to the South American mainland, where he would overthrow the Aztec Empire. But that will not happen, because you have beaten him to the punch. Oh, so we are changing history. You are the eldest child of a Spanish nobleman, and you yourself hold the title of Hidalgo. With your father's back, I don't know what this title means, by the way. With your father's backing, you have been the leader of a successful Hermandad, meaning brotherhood. Okay, so we got that explained. Back in the old world, a peacekeeping association of armed individuals which protected the countryside around your father's town. So it's like a good... It's almost like an adventuring party in a role-playing game, just a couple of guys going around doing good for the community. During this time, you demonstrated an aptitude for leadership and strategy that earned you the respect of the people under your command. But it was time for a greater challenge. With the king's permission and your father's financial support, you purchased a ship and selected your crew from the best of the brothers and sisters in your Hermandad. Together, you are off for the long and arduous journey to explore the new world. In your cargo hold, you bring rations, medicine, equipment, and assorted valuables. You must first make a stop on the Caribbean island of Hispaniola, under the Spanish domain since 1496. Here, you will hire servants or buy slaves, rest and restock, and gain what information you can about the new world. After 5 weeks on the Atlantic Ocean, your people gather on the deck, and as the call "Land ahoy!" rings out from the rigging, on a clear afternoon, gulls screeching in the wake of your ship, you sail into the port of Santo Domingo, the seat of Spanish colonial rule in the New World. So, this all sounds nice. I think I'm gonna take a break, and then I'll I'll see you and we'll start the first mission.